All right, welcome to Playoff Central Live. Nabil Kareem, Brendan Haywood, Coach Sam Mitchell. Complete post-game coverage coming up of this game when the players get to the podium and the coaches get to the podium. We're going to take you there live. For anyone who didn't believe in Denver coming into the playoffs, I think now you can rest assured that this team is for real.
Yeah, Denver is definitely for real. And Jokic is for real. And this the way this team overall plays, the way they move the basketball, how connected they are offensively. This is a really, really unique team. They're really hard to stop. And obviously, Phoenix was trying to put this together on the fly with the Kevin Durant trade. But it was apparent that the two of the better players were on Phoenix, but the best team by far was Denver with the way they played unselfishly.
Well, I don't know about two of the better players because the best player in this series was the Joker.
Might be the best player in the league.
Hello. I mean, let's call it like it is. I mean, he dominated from start to finish. And for all those people that say, well, he's not a good defender, Kevin Durant, Book, and that Phoenix Suns crew scored 100 points tonight at home in a closed-out game. So don't tell me that. Look, the Joker's not out there being a sieve. He's doing his part, but offensively, he's on a whole nother level. Brendan was in the back, had me laughing, talking about a guy that can't jump over a penny is just destroying these teams. It just goes to show you, man, when you know your game and you know your body and you play within yourself, the things and how effective you can be. But Denver, man, they've been the best team in the West all year, so why are people shocked? They have depth. They got one of the best players. They got a two-time MVP. Jamal Murray is back playing at a level that he played at in the bubble. He's finally healthy. Then you look at that roster, the way Calvin Booth put together all these pieces. They got guys sitting on the bench that will play serious minutes for the other teams left in the playoffs. So Coach Mike Malone has been on this team about their defense all year. They're playing their best defense at the right time. And right now, who's to say they're not the best? They're playing the best basketball of any team that's left. They're consistent, they're scoring, and they got a guy right now that's an immovable object in the post, and that's the Joker.
And Coach, that was the one thing coming into the playoffs was the question of defense. Could they play defense? And like you said, they're doing it right now.
Yeah, I think they learned a lot from last year, too. If you watch some of the adjustments that they've made as far as what they do in pick-and-roll settings to hide Jokic and Michael Porter Jr., that was a problem last year in the playoffs. As you saw Golden State in that first round, they went at Jokic, and they picked at him every single time. They got switches, and Steph was able to attack his feet, and it was very ugly. This year, what they did was they brought Jokic up, and every time you put him in a pick and roll, they said, listen, we're going to blitz the pick. We know our big fella is slow-footed, but he's willing to work hard. So he works hard in the pick and roll game. He gets up at the level. He's active with his hands. He jumps to pick and roll, and then he get into a full rotation so that teams can't take advantage of him. So you got to give Mike Malone and his staff credit. They learned from what happened last year. They looked at that Golden State film, said, okay, we understand where teams are going to attack us, and we're going to adjust that this year.
Brendan, if the Joker can come up and play that type of defense, anybody can. That's what drives me crazy about the NBA. Larry Brown used to say this all the time. If I ask you to do something at the start of the season and you do it for 82 games going into the playoffs, by the time you get to the playoffs, you'll be good at it. You will figure it out. Mike Malone had the Joker doing this all year. And to Brendan's point, when you put guys in a situation to say, you got to sink or swim, most of these guys, especially the great ones, going to always swim and be doing the backstroke too. So, hey, man, give the Joker credit. He accepted the challenge. He understood where his weakness was, and now that's not a weakness anymore.
All right, let's talk about the Phoenix Suns here because a lot of people are going to be wondering when they look at Kevin Durant's numbers, and if you watch this game closely, I mean, he's 8 of 19 for 23 points in this game. Came into this game shooting about just under 46% for the series, which is okay for most players, but not for Kevin Durant when we used to his efficiency. What went wrong for Kevin Durant, or what went right for Denver as far as defensively guarding Kevin Durant?
I just think, Brendan and I was talking about this, man, to get Kevin Durant, they broke up their team. All right, you got rid of all those guys that can make shots and make players, all those guys in Brooklyn right now. And what's left is Kevin Durant and Book. And we said this in the first series. Can these guys play 46 to 47 minutes a game? And everyone say, yeah, because you're playing every other day or every 2 days. But at the end of the day, when you're playing those kind of minutes, the Denver Nuggets got locked in on their rhythm. Look how average Booker was the last 2 games. The game in Denver and then the closeout at home. After a while, Brendan, the team going to figure you out. And you cannot, nobody, even the greatest of the great, cannot go through a series and shoot 80% when they're all jump shots. It's just impossible to do. They got no easy baskets. Even when they won, Brenda, look at the tough shots Booker and Durant had to make. So they got to scratch their head in Phoenix. They done gave up all those assets to put this team together. They got to start searching high low to find some pieces around them because people forget Kevin Durant's about to turn 35.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing is they're going to have to fill out this roster a little bit better, and they figured that out in the playoffs. The role players weren't hitting enough shots in key moments to give guys like Booker and Kevin Durant space. As far as great as Booker played, one of the I forget was it game 3 or game 4 when Landry Shamet came in the fourth quarter and hit those shots. That opened everything up, and so they're going to need more two-way guys. I'm not sure where they're going to find them.
Everybody's looking for them.
Yeah, they definitely are. But they're going to have to tweak this roster. And let's call a spade, Coach. It's very hard to win a championship when you don't have cohesion and camaraderie for going through an off-season, a full training camp, a full year together. A lot of times when you put teams together at the trade deadline, it doesn't always necessarily work no matter how good the pretty names are.
But they better find, look, the Joker's not going anywhere in the Western Conference. He's not going to get traded to the East, and he's not going to retire. They better find a big body to bang with him, and sometimes look at changing that lineup a little bit, maybe playing Ayton some at the 4, bringing in a bigger body to play at the 5, because Ayton was just overmatched physically against the Joker. And to our point, when you let the Joker take 5, 6 dribbles, what is anybody going to do? I mean, it's you watching this and you're saying you cannot give the 2-time MVP from 12 feet, 6 dribbles to get to where he wants to go, and everybody just standing there in the help position. You at least dig and make him pick his dribble up and make him think you're coming, start screaming, I'm going, or whatever. But they're just sitting there like this, and the Joker just doing this. Oh, y'all not coming? Y'all not coming? I'm just going to get Aiden down here. I'm going to pump fake, up and under, reverse. I'm going to go through my bag of tricks until he bite on something, and then I'm just going to drop him off.
All right, so we got questions about Phoenix. Maybe Monty Williams has some answers. Here he is. Let's quote him.
Coach, you've talked about just not even giving up 30-point quarters, but to start the game with a 44-pointer. How much of that played into what happened the rest of the game?
It was pretty much the whole game. 81 points in the first half. It was deflating to just see them score like that and, running down the floor, getting easy buckets. And that falls on my shoulders, not having us ready to play at the highest level in the biggest game of the year, bottom line. And to your point, like that's just not who we are and who we've been.
And then just to follow up, when you're looking at the way they were scoring, I mean, you said like through 6 games, you know what they're going to do. Was it almost like you're talking to them like, hey, we've seen this? I mean, what were you trying to get across to them during that?
Well, at that point, you're just trying to get the spirit back. When they're running their offense with great pace and physicality on offense, and then we didn't make shots, and I thought that sent us into a bit of a tailspin, which is not common for us. We've been in games where we miss shots and we're able to get the stops we needed to, be productive. We just couldn't get any stops in the first half.
Monty, when the deficit grew to that length, what did you see from the guys in terms of the effort they were trying to do and like trying to balance not doing too much? I
thought like the effort was there, but it wasn't at the highest level where we needed it. I thought the shot missing messed with us a bit. Not having DA as a roller tonight, you could see the difference in their pick and roll coverage. They were stealing out to shooters more tonight, and they were actually in the passing lanes a bit more. But I thought we missed a ton of shots early, and I thought that brought our spirit down.
I know you're not big on comparisons, but this is 2 straight years with an ending like this at home. Did you sense a different energy from the guys, at least, though, to what I was asking about earlier?
I can't gauge that. I'm not quite sure if I can compare. They both are they bring bad feelings about the game and what you're trying to accomplish. Neither day feels good.
Coach, Book's efficiency since that fall in the first quarter last game, it just wasn't quite the same. Was he fully healthy, or did that impact him?
I haven't gotten a medical report on that, but I think he is dealing with some soreness. Just watching him, he didn't have that same pop, and he's just too tough of a guy to to admit when he's, feeling something. But there's nothing official as far as an injury is concerned. He just was toughing it out, and finally I just took him out of the game.
When you have another season that comes to an end like this,
Yeah.
I know you guys didn't have as much time with Kevin as you wanted, but what's kind of your outlook for the franchise as far as what you need next time?
It's too hard to talk about that stuff right now. It's an emotional, tough loss. It's hard for me to even see past today. I want to go in there and talk to the coaches, and we will reevaluate as we go forward. But you're right. This is 2 years in a row where we've lost in elimination games like this, and it's just a bad feeling.
This franchise obviously has had championship hope.